talked about temptation. We've talked about 40 days of Lent. We've also talked that Easter Sunday isn't the only time we celebrate Easter. When are the other times that we celebrate Easter? Very good. Every Sunday. That's why during Lent, if you've been counting, you're probably going, hey, my math is off because it's Sundays. No, each Sunday during Lent is not counted because that is an Easter celebration. Now we come to that full fruition today on Easter Sunday as we remember that Christ is risen.
He is risen indeed. Hallelujah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Museum of Biblical History, here in the heart of downtown Jerusalem. Our very special exhibit for this year's Holy Week is the Happiness Collection. The Happiness Collection is made up of items and objects we have identified and reclaimed for showing the drama of Holy Week, the 7 days that shook the world. Our museum guides will display each item and provide a brief explanation of its symbolism.
His friend was Judas, a friend he loved and trusted, but Judas traded his best friend for a bag of coins like this. But Judas found out that a friend was more important. A friend lasted much longer than money. A friend is someone you can count on. A friend is the best gift we can ever have, and the best friend you'll ever have is Jesus. He never lets you down. He'll never trade you away for anyone or anything. You can always count on him. Happiness is having Jesus as our friend.
Here an expensive jar of perfume. While Jesus was in the house of Simon the leper, a woman brought the most expensive thing she had, which was a jar of perfume, and poured it on Jesus' feet and his head. She wanted to do something special for him, something beautiful. She gave the very best that she had to God, and that's why Jesus said she would always be remembered for doing it. And her jar, just like this one, says to every one of us, do something beautiful for God. One of the best ways to do that is to praise and thank God, to let him know how happy we are to be his children, to give him our very best. Happiness is giving prayer and praise to God.
Jesus was having supper with his friends for the last time. They were all sad when he said he wouldn't be with them anymore. And then Jesus did a strange thing. He took a cup filled with wine and some bread, and he said that whenever his friends came together, he would always be with them. He would be with them in a special way. They would never have to be sad. This bread and the wine in the cup mean Jesus is with us. We don't have to be sad. We are happy to be here. Jesus comes to us by bread and wine. The simple cup can remind us of that. Jesus is never far away. Jesus is with us. Happiness is Holy Communion.
In Jesus' time, foot washing was the job of the lowliest servant. It was a job nobody wanted to do. Yet Jesus used the wash basin and towel to wash the feet of his disciples. Jesus was always doing things for others. He teaches us that doing things for others is the most important thing we can do. In following Jesus' example of helping and serving others, we will find happiness. Happiness is helping others.
These gloves represent our hands. Hands played an important part when Jesus was arrested in the garden. Some carried lanterns, some carried clubs, whips, swords, and ropes. They meant to hurt Jesus and his friends. One of Jesus' friends, Peter, grabbed a sword and cut off a man's ear. Others pushed his trouble with their hands. Some men tied Jesus up. Everyone used their hands in the wrong way, except one man, and that was Jesus. Even everyone else was busy hurting, Jesus was hurting out. He showed us how to use our hands in the way that helps, not hurts. Happiness is giving God a helping hand.
In ancient times, palm branches symbolized goodness and victory. They are often depicted on coins and important buildings, but palms were a symbol of necessity too. To the Jews, palm branches represented a gift from God because of their many uses in people's lives. This important tree has many different varieties, ranging in heights from less than 3 meters to more than 30 meters. Date palm supplies dates, coconuts palm supply both coconuts and coconut. The sap of the sugar palm was dried, beaten, and ground into very fine sugar. Its leaves could also be boiled and used as vegetables. The palm tree had almost no waste parts. Even the trunk of the sago palm was ground into flour and made into unleavened bread. So when the crowd spread palm branches on the road as Jesus made his triumphal entry into Jerusalem, they were honoring him with something of great value to them. Happiness is honoring Jesus with our earthly gifts.
I have here 2 very different king's crowns. The first one is the crown of thorns, woven by the Roman guards and placed upon Jesus' head when he was being led away to be crucified. The crown is said to be made from the branches of a jujube tree, a deciduous tree found near Jerusalem, with thorns measuring an inch long or more. They used this crown to mock him, calling him King of the Jews. And yet though Jesus suffered his death and resurrection paved the way for those that believe on him to be set free from the power of sin, at his ascension, Jesus took his rightful place, seated at the right hand of God. The Roman soldiers may have crowned him in mockery, but Jesus truly was a king. The second crown reminds us that Jesus is king of our lives. Jesus will one day return as King of Kings and Lord of Lords, but he will not be wearing a crown of thorns. Rather, Jesus will be crowned with glory and honor, gathering to himself those who suffered with him and offering each a crown of life. Happiness is having Jesus as king in our lives.
We hope you have enjoyed this exhibition. Visiting a museum is always an adventure, and we hope you will continue this biblical adventure as we celebrate Jesus' resurrection and go out into the world to live our lives serving, loving, and helping others as Jesus has taught us.